This video is brought to you in partnership with Paired, the app designed for couples. Tap the link in the description to enjoy a 7-day free trial and get 25% off Paired Premium. Who's in charge of everything here? Davos asked, their voice slightly distorted by the translator's echo. Well, it's not that straightforward, Adam replied. We're talking about a mix of municipalities, provinces, nations, and agencies, each with its own leaders, rules, and areas of authority. Is there someone specific you'd like to speak with? Director of Global Affairs, United Nations Office of Intergovernmental Coordination. Yes, Davos confirmed. Who is the most successful human on this planet? Adam paused to consider. Several other representatives sat silently beside and behind him. Together, they all fixed their eyes on Davos from across the long conference table. Davos appeared both alien and oddly familiar, as if shaped by a different path of evolution, yet bearing traces of something unmistakably human. I'd say this individual right here, Adam replied, turning toward a large screen that stretched across the wall of the otherwise empty room. With a device in hand, he pointed, and the image of a man flickered into view. We'd like to meet him, Davos said. On what basis? Another agent cut in, their tone sharp and unexpectedly confrontational. As we've already explained, Davos continued calmly, we believe a cooperative relationship could be deeply beneficial to both sides. The universe is a dark, violent place. We've discovered that true progress lies in bringing light to it, through mutual support. We're grateful for this chance, and we hope you'll agree. They paused before adding, we wish to speak with the individual who holds the greatest success here, the one with the broadest influence across your systems. It's important we understand exactly who we're engaging with and who we might be entering into a relationship with. Several hours later, Davos finally came face to face with the man from the image on the screen. This gentleman is widely considered the most influential figure on Earth, Adam said, as he introduced the world leader to Davos. I believe he's the right person to help you with whatever it is you're hoping to understand or accomplish here. Requesting permission to perform a brief resonance analysis, Davos said. What exactly does that mean? The world leader asked, his voice sharp and intense. No need for concern, Davos replied calmly. It's a quick and non-invasive procedure, completely painless. Think of it like a brain scan or a detailed photograph, except it maps your entire body and mind. It analyzes chemical structures, systems, and interactions throughout. For what purpose? Why would you need to do that? The leader pressed, his tone still firm, a stark contrast to Davos' composed and measured demeanor. If we're to collaborate in any meaningful way, Davos explained, we'd like to understand the structure and condition of the person who best represents your species' success. The analysis will simply collect data across key dimensions, internal coherence, adaptability, and subjective experience. In our findings, these factors are the most reliable predictors of a sustainable, mutually beneficial relationship. The world leader glanced toward Adam and the other agents, uncertainty in his eyes. They exchanged quiet whispers for a moment, until Adam gave a small, affirming nod. All right, go ahead, the leader said to Davos, his tone carrying a hint of reluctant acceptance. Davos reached into their coat and produced a small device, no larger than a pen. With a gentle movement, they raised it and aimed it toward the leader. Instantly, several agents shifted their footing and reached for their weapons. The world leader raised a hand to calm them, signaling there was no need for alarm. A quiet moment passed as Davos, along with other members of their species, monitoring from a ship in low Earth orbit, processed a stream of data that beamed directly into their minds from the device. This is the most successful individual on your planet, Davos asked. I'm the leader of the free world, the world leader replied, defensively. So yes, I'd say I rank pretty high. Davos murmured, thoughtfully. Are there any other leaders I might speak with? Why? The world leader asked, visibly unsettled. Adam stepped in gently, placing a reassuring hand on the leader's shoulder. Of course, he said calmly. I'll compile a list of the most powerful and accomplished individuals across the globe. You can meet with whoever you wish. In the days that followed, Davos sat down with the planet's most influential political figures, each one carefully selected by Adam. The same resonance analysis was performed on all of them, and the results, strikingly consistent. Next, Davos was introduced to some of the world's wealthiest individuals, carefully selected by Adam. CEOs, founders, venture capitalists, and powerful board members. Noticing a subtle shift in Davos' expression, as they completed an analysis on one individual, whose net worth exceeded the GDP of entire nations, Adam spoke up. Is something wrong? Yes, Davos replied. According to our readings, The most materially successful individuals on your planet appear to be in poor condition. Among many concerns, we detected strong patterns of isolation, hostility, emotional numbness, internal conflict, and a general lack of harmony. Davos paused, then asked, "Is there anyone else, perhaps someone who is widely admired for a different reason?" "Actually, yes," Adam said, a new thought sparking in his mind, a type of success he hadn't yet considered. "We have individuals who are much more popular. We would like to meet them," Davos responded. Over the next several days, Davos was introduced to some of the most recognizable people on the planet. Adam based his selections on the size of their following, tens of millions, in some cases hundreds of millions of fans across the globe. Once again, Davos conducted their analysis on each one. "You do understand what we're searching for, don't you?" Davos asked Adam after finishing yet another scan of a global celebrity. "We're looking for the most successful individual, but everyone you've shown us so far, their internal systems are highly unstable. Signs of emotional decay. It's as if they've come to rely on stress and suffering as a kind of fuel." "How are these individuals considered successful?" "I don't know," Adam said, exasperated. "That's just how we are down here. I suppose we trade personal well-being for the sake of something bigger." "Most of these individuals exhibit little to no evidence of genuine self-sacrifice," Davos said. "What we're seeing isn't suffering in service of some higher purpose, it's suffering for its own sake. A strange blend of self-destruction and self-indulgence." Adam fell silent, as did the other agents in the room. "I don't know what to tell you," he finally said. "These really are the best this planet has to offer." "That is unfortunate," Davos replied quietly. "Wait," Adam interrupted. "There has to be something more we can do. We want to cooperate." Davos paused, thoughtful. "If you permit it," they said, "we can conduct one final assessment. A wide-scale scan of your planet. It may help us identify other possible candidates, ones who haven't yet come to your attention." Adam nodded. "All right, go ahead." Davos returned to their ship. Over the next couple of days, their team initiated a global metabolic resonance scan from low Earth orbit, analyzing regions across the planet, searching for biochemical markers linked to inner harmony and balanced conscious experience. On the 6th day, they found something, a signal, a singular individual who stood out. Davos returned to Adam and the other agents to share the discovery. "Who is this person?" Adam asked. "We're not sure," Davos replied. "That's what we intend to find out." They handed over geo-coordinates and biometric data extracted from the scan. Adam ran the information through the Global Citizens Index. A profile appeared. Name, Margaret Jen. She lived on a quiet street, in a small town, in an unassuming country. "How?" Adam asked, puzzled. "Why would you want to meet her?" "She doesn't seem to be anyone to us," Davos said calmly. "She may very well be the most successful human on your planet." In that moment, Adam began to grasp the depth of the disconnect between their worlds. The aliens' concept of success was entirely different from his own, just as his was foreign to them. And truthfully, he still didn't fully understand what they were searching for: mental equilibrium, harmony with the environment, the ability to metabolize and express emotion, and a deep commitment to the physical and psychological well-being of all. Later that day, Adam, a small team of agents, and Davos traveled to meet the woman. Standing in her long gravel driveway, the agents carefully explained the situation, vague in detail, still uncertain themselves, and clearly a little stunned by it all. She agreed to cooperate. Adam and the others stepped back, giving her and Davos some space. "Hello," Davos said. "Hi," she replied softly. "May I have your permission to perform the analysis?" "Yes, granted," she said, voice trembling slightly, nervous, but trying to stay calm and respectful. Davos ran the scan. A brief moment passed as the data streamed silently into their mind. Then, Davos looked up, their expression shifted, curiosity deepening. They stepped a little closer. "Who are you?" Davos asked. My name is Margaret." "No. Who are you? What is it you do on this planet?" "Oh," she said, slightly unsure. "I'm a baker." "A baker?" "Yes. I make bread, pastries, desserts, food." Davos tilted their head slightly. "Can you tell me more about yourself?" "Sure," Margaret said. "I live here with my husband." She turned and motioned toward a modest, cozy-looking house behind her. "I bake, like I mentioned. Other than that, I take regular walks, through the countryside, into the valleys, sometimes up into the mountains. I also enjoy painting and writing. And sometimes, I just sit to think, or not think at all. My husband and I live a pretty simple life." She glanced around. "It's a quiet community, but we all do what we can to support each other, lend a hand when someone needs it." She paused, then added with a faint smile, "Nothing extraordinary, really. But it's nice. Peaceful. I don't know why you're interested in me. To be honest, I'm definitely not important, or special, or particularly smart, and I'm not especially good at anything. Davos murmured, studying her carefully. How do you feel? Are you well? Sometimes, Margaret said, hesitating. Sometimes not so much. I try to be content with what we have, to find peace in it, you know. But even then, I still feel sad, lonely, a lot of the time. How could anyone not? Margaret said softly. Maybe, inaccessible, is the better word. She paused, choosing her thoughts carefully. I know life can be painful, full of mistakes, loss, and tragedy. I don't pretend otherwise. But I also know that life is beautiful, and I try to love it. Truly love it, not for what it gives me, but just as it is. I think that's what real love and goodness are: irrational, unconditional. She looked up at Davos. Love doesn't demand anything in return. It doesn't ask life to be perfect, or to meet your expectations. It just is. And I really believe, that what you give to life is what you end up experiencing. Nothing more. Davos tilted their head slightly. Are you good? They asked. Like a good person. Margaret took a breath. I try to be, she said, but I can be awful sometimes. I know I have been. I've hurt people. I've made selfish choices. I've been blinded by pride and greed. She looked away, briefly. But I've also asked for forgiveness. I've tried to forgive, and I've tried to keep reminding myself. We all woke up one day to find ourselves here, suddenly, without instruction, and we're all just trying, misunderstanding, failing, learning, starting again. She turned back to Davos, her voice quiet. I don't know if that really answers your question, but it's the truth. There was a brief silence. What about you? Margaret asked gently. What about me? How do you feel? Are you good? Davos paused. It was the first time since making contact that anyone had asked them such a thing, and with such quiet sincerity. Margaret wasn't afraid. She wasn't evaluating them. She was simply curious, interested. For a moment, Davos opened up. They shared with Margaret what it was like to be them, what they were, how they felt, what their existence entailed. To Margaret, it sounded deeply strange, unfamiliar, alien, but at the same time, something about it made sense, because in her own way, she understood what it meant to be a conscious being in a mysterious world, trying to live, to feel, to make sense of it all, while somehow not letting the weight of that effort become too heavy to carry. She understood what it meant to exist fully in each moment, constantly working to resolve the quiet contradiction between living and living well. Then Davos spoke. Would you lead the collaborative efforts between our species and humanity? We would be honored to work with you. This role, we believe, will carry great significance in the story of the cosmos. Margaret blinked, stunned. Wow. I'm honored, she said sincerely. But no, thank you. I'm not the right person to lead humanity. Davos looked at her for a long moment, and they understood it was time to go.